I'm here with Kristen, who is a colleague in Shackley, and she just has an amazing health journey that she's been on and translated into an amazing business journey too. So I'll ask some questions about that as well. But tell me real quick, like, where were you about 1 year ago in your health? Or like before this all started, where were you at?
Sure. Well, I grew up very heavy. I'm going to go back just a little bit to fifth grade, where I was on Weight Watchers and became a lifetime member. Food was my crutch, so food's always been a thing. And so fast forward to a year ago, I was in physical therapy because I was not very active during COVID. And from there, I really made that life decision that life is changing. I am not going to remain as I am, and I'm going to become the best version of myself. So I started the weight loss journey, started getting more active, went to my doctor for my physical, and he very gently said, let's check back in 3 months, see how you're doing. I'm so proud you're working on losing weight. So I went back in September of last year. And the doctor came in after I had done my blood work and he had gotten results, and he just said, we need to talk. He was very serious, and I got very nervous. And he said, your blood work shows that I no longer have to worry about your cholesterol or pre-diabetes at this point, and your blood work, your blood pressure is better than it's been in 15 years that I've known you. And he said, oh, and you've lost 16 pounds. What are you doing? So I, of course, took the box of my vitamins out of my purse because I had flattened it down, handed it to him, and I said, well, here's part of it right now. And of course, I had the nutritional information from the shakes from doing the Prove It Challenge. And he had not really heard much of Shackley, so he was excited to read about it. He went through everything with a fine-tooth comb right there, and he said, this is spectacular. He said, whatever you're doing, keep going. So I continued to keep going, and through having a month of my son home, he's a chef, I probably put on a little bit of weight, but I'm still down 38 pounds. So it's all good.
And 38 pounds from when? From when did you first start?
From the like end of May. End of May.
Of last year. Yeah.
May 2021.
Wow. That's amazing. And so from May to September, you were 16. That's when your doctor was noticing all those numbers that had changed.
Yes, absolutely.
And what were you doing, like nutrition wise? What were you taking? What were you doing?
I used the Vitalizer Gold vitamin strip, which I swear by. I also take alfalfa. That's another little side story. I used to have horrible allergies, and I'm pretty much allergy free. I also take my D3, and I also take my Nutriferin.
Yep.
And I'm very happy to say that we have had COVID in the house 3 times, and I have been religious with a Nutriferin, and knock on wood, we've been healthy.
Yeah.
So, to the point where my bonus daughter decided to hop on the Prove It Challenge, and she's very fit, but she wanted to get in a good, healthy mindset. She has rheumatoid arthritis. So, she jumped on ship, and she is loving the product and loving just other lines, the green clean line, the Get Clean line, and other things. But my husband is hopping on the Prove It Challenge, and we start on Sunday. So I'm going to do the food with him. But to get him to commit to something, it took a while, but it's all good.
Yeah. So, okay, you mentioned the vitamin pieces, but what about the protein? What were you doing
The
from
Life
May
Shakes.
to September?
I was doing Life Shakes every morning.
Yeah.
Still am. And I eat a healthy lunch. I usually eat a salad for lunch or a wrap, something with fresh, like for example, fresh turkey meat. I'll get a turkey breast and roast it. So I'm away from a lot of processed foods. And then we roast a lot of our vegetables. We smoke our food. We grill our food, even when it's cold like it is today.
Yeah.
So, and just staying away from the processed foods. I think I look at it now and I think, why would I put that in my body? Look how many chemicals there are, so it's really been a journey. And have I thrown in the towel and hit the McDonald's drive-through or another drive-through once in a while? Sure, but I also know how I feel the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been pleasant.
Yeah.
It just takes over your system. And, life is too short. And I'm approaching a big birthday in December. So I am going to be super healthy by the big 6-0.
Wow. That's so awesome. So awesome. It's like, it's the aging backwards, you probably felt older with all the health stuff going on than you do now.
Absolutely. I struggled to walk downstairs when I went to physical therapy and had a balance issue. So, do I attribute it to weight loss and taking care of myself? Absolutely. I also think that the supplements like the alfalfa, because it's such a super supplement, not only allergy wise, but I don't have an imbalance in my ears. There's so many things. My joints are better, everything. So yeah, it's exciting.
That's awesome. So, okay. So what had to change in your mindset too, when you started on the Shaklee journey? Like, tell me a little bit about that.
Part of my backstory also is that my mother was very unhealthy. She had type 2 diabetes. She had atrial fib. Early on in my teen years, she was diagnosed with that. She had health issues and she passed away after 2 strokes post-surgery. My father had kidney and liver cancer, and he passed my first year of teaching. My brother, 8 years ago, was diagnosed with chronic lymphocytic leukemia, and he is, knock on wood, 6 years in remission, but he is on his treatment for life. So that story, and just the 3 people in my family, I'm going to change this, and I'm going to break the chain. I am going to change our family history. And it was hard because, you have people in your family that have such poor health. Break the cycle. I'm going to be the first one to break the cycle. And my kids are very healthy, knock on wood. So I think that was a biggie for me.
And it sounds like that also had to do with identity. The core piece of that was how you saw yourself. Like, I am not going to be this way. I'm going to be this other direction. Yeah.
Correct. Absolutely. And it took a lot of working on me and my mindset. I was in a teaching situation in a large department where there wasn't always the best positive energy, and I would internalize that. So I had to get beyond that in my transition from my encore career. And it took quite a while, and I became a distributor, but I had to have that mindset to just go. And now I'm going, and I'm busy at least 6 hours a day and love what I'm doing. And hopefully my plan is to have those 3 distributors by the end of the month. So, because I'm
Awesome.
just getting to know them, and learning about them and what their goals are, and just taking it slow and sure. So,
That's so great. So
yeah.
great. And I want to make sure we say on this recorded piece too, like, so how much have you lost since May of 2021? You said you're down how many
38
pounds?
pounds.
38 pounds. Okay.
Mhm.
And has that translated to your clothing size? Like
Oh.
what size, how many sizes did you go down?
I'm down 2 sizes comfortably,
Mhm.
and almost into that 3rd size. But because we've made such a health commitment, or my husband had seen me just going for this, and
Mhm.
now he's in the game too. For whatever reason, his workplace had exercise equipment on sale and on clearance. And why Lowe's was carrying exercise equipment, it's beyond me, but it's okay. And he called me and he said, Kristen, the treadmill, it's 50% off. So I went over, made not one trip, but 2. We bought a treadmill and we bought an exercise bike, and they're on the deck and we're using them every day. So, it's a life commitment to change, because you're worth
Mhm.
it as a human being,
Yeah.
you live this life once. And so it's been a work in progress.
I love that. I love your statement really captures it there, that this is a life commitment. This isn't a diet. This isn't a temporary thing that you do and then go back to your old habits. Like, this is, Shackley provides those tools to help you change your lifestyle for life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, if I were to open those doors, that's our pantry,
Yeah.
you would, because we have 7-year-old twin boys here right now, there's a lot of food that I will not touch. But that pantry will be so different when our daughter and the twins head to Oklahoma at the end of the school year, because there aren't going to be those choices.
Mhm.
There'll be bins of fresh fruits and vegetables in there, not bins of, chips and so on.
Yeah.
It really will change the dynamic of our house. So, and my son is a farm to table chef, so I've got it pretty good.
That's awesome.
Oh
I
yeah.
love it. I love it. Okay, so how have all these changes that you've made in your identity, your mindset, your lifestyle, your eating habits, like, how have all these changes impacted your Shackley business?
Because my mindset is where it is to help others be their best. And because I'm doing that for myself,
Mm-hmm.
it's making it go like this. It just, the
Yeah.
energy is out there, the conversations are there. I'm more confident about myself, which I wasn't when I left teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I was in rough enough health that I could have gone down the wrong path, and I wasn't going to do that. So definitely it has impacted it hugely. I'm much more confident to just reach out and say, hey, let's have lunch or let's have coffee and talk and really get to know people and
Mm-hmm.
what their goals are, because it might be to get themselves healthy. That's how I started. I was very fortunate to have Lisa as the person that signed me on to Shackley,
Mm-hmm.
and we were in the same industry for years. And so her patience and her guidance and her thought process, and she really was looking out for my best interest. That's why I'm doing the same. You learn by example. So
Yeah.
between Lisa and all of our big group, I call it the Chicago group. Our big group, it's a family. It's not a competition. It is, everybody is so there for each other and encouraging for each other. I mean, I'm sure you feel the same way. You're very
Mhm.
energized when you get off one of those meetings.
Yes, yes,
So
for sure. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you for being able to do this little interview and share your progress and your successes so far. And yeah, looking forward to where you'll be when you hit the big 6-0 and even beyond that.